From Zoomers to those born in the first millennium AD, the Avengers come in a wide range of ages. And while these heroes are certainly proof that age is just a number, that doesn't mean we're not curious about it. So, how old was each Avenger during Endgame? There are many complicated answers when it comes to figuring out the ages of everyone in Avengers Endgame. So, let's start simple. Peter Parker was among the victims of Thanos' snap. We know Peter was born in 2001, which would have made him 17 both when he was snapped and when he returned in Endgame. He didn't age, despite time around him moving as normal. If Peter hadn't been snapped away, he would be 22 in 2023. We know that Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, was born in 1984, which would have made her 39 when she appeared in Endgame. That said, Black Widow died when she and Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, traveled back to 2014 to carry out the time heist on Vormir and secure the Soul Stone. One might think that means she died at the age of 30, but it's important to remember that it's the 2023 version of Black Widow who traveled back in time and sacrificed herself. She still made it to 39 years of age, despite dying in 2014 on the timeline. Wanda Maximoff is also an 80s baby. She was 29 when she got snapped in Avengers Infinity War. The current Captain America, Sam Wilson, was born in 1978, making him 39 years old at the time of the snap. That means when we see him again in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's chronologically 45. Getting into some of the older guard, we have Tony Stark, who was born in 1970, and Bruce Banner, who was born in 1969. That would make their endgame ages 53 and 54 years old, respectively. Thanks to his character's personnel badge in Iron Man, we know that James Rhodes is also a member of the 50-plus club. He was born in 1968, making him 55 years old in Endgame. As for the much older guard, we have Steve Rogers. Captain America was born in 1918, making him 105 years old during the events of Endgame. However, he was frozen in 1945 at the age of 27, and started aging again when he was thawed in 2012.
I went in the ice in 45 right after I met the love of my life. Woke up 70 years later.
At the time of Endgame, that would make him physically 38 years old. Cap himself seems to be conflicted about how to view his actual age. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, he tells Natasha, quote, "I'm 95, I'm not dead." Of course, Steve appears as an elderly man in the final moments of Endgame, so his physical age becomes more like 90 plus by the end of the movie.
Maybe I'll try some of that life Tony was telling me to get.
Steve's longtime buddy, Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, has had an even more complicated aging trajectory, considering he was thawed out more often between the early 20th century and present day. He also got snapped by Thanos in Infinity War. So while chronologically his 1917 birth year would make him 106 in 2023, it's harder to say how physically old that would leave Bucky, given he can fight with the best of them, and that he's battling more bad guys in Disney Plus's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Bucky's physical age can't be much older than Steve's pre-Old Man Cap transformation. Even though he may not always act it, the granddaddy of them all is Thor, who stated in Avengers Infinity War that he was roughly 1,500 years old. That would make him roughly 1,505 during the events of Endgame. For all the ages we do know, there are some that remain inconclusive. Characters like Hawkeye, T'Challa, and Doctor Strange haven't been given canonical birthdays in the MCU, at least not yet. For heroes such as Hawkeye, we can assume he's meant to be around the same age as the actor who plays him. As of July 2021, Jeremy Renner is 50 years old. But the endgame ages of others, like Doctor Strange, who's fond of slipping into other dimensions, and Ant-Man, who spent a few Earth years in the timeless quantum realm, are a bit harder to figure out. Benedict Cumberbatch turns 44 in 2021, and Paul Rudd is, shockingly enough, 52. But as 37-year-old Chris Hemsworth can tell you, just because the MCU character you play looks like they could be the same age as you, doesn't mean they are. On that note, while we don't know the exact date of Carol Danvers' birth, we do know that the events resulting in her gaining her powers happened in 1989. Presuming she's meant to be in her mid-20s during the events of Captain Marvel, That would put her birth date sometime in the 1960s. However, considering the powers she received stop her from aging, and the fact that she spent a number of years hopping around space, it's hard to pinpoint exactly how old Captain Marvel is by Endgame. Just going chronologically, she would be in her 60s, although her appearance is still that of someone in their 20s or 30s. There's also the case of some of the semi-human and non-human Avengers. The age of Nebula is a total mystery. She belongs to the Lufamoid species of aliens, but it seems that her adoptive father, Thanos, lost her paperwork, as we don't even know how old Nebula is meant to be in Lufamoidian years. And last but certainly not least is Rocket Raccoon. MCU fans know that despite his name and general appearance, Rocket is not, in fact, an actual raccoon, but rather a genetically engineered half-worlder. The only bit of information we have to go on regarding Rocket's age is pretty morbid. His own admission in Guardians of the Galaxy, in which he says, "I don't get that long a lifespan anyway." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite Marvel movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.